You're listening to Shift, Human First Financial Guidance with Ross Marino.
Today, we are shifting the conversation with Ashley Quamme, founder of BAM Consulting. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, Ross. Good to be here.
Great to have you on the podcast. I was fortunate enough to come across you on social media, started reading your posts, and thought, I have got to meet this lady. She just has great insight. And I know you recently started working on materials and resources and training for financial advisors, but this isn't your first time doing something professionally. You have a history that brought you up to this point. You think you could share how we got here?
Yeah, absolutely. So my home discipline is in marriage and family therapy. That's where I've spent the last almost 15 years practicing clinically. I have my own private practice here in the Augusta, Georgia area. And so my specialty the last kind of almost 15 years has been in couples. So doing couples, well, lots of different areas within the couples kind of field, but here the last few years really focusing more on financial issues that come out within the couple system. So married to a financial planner. So you can imagine the conversations that we have around our dinner table. They may not be like most other folks, those conversations, but there's just such a beautiful intersection there between what Clayton and I do that has been helpful for me in my clinical work, but also sparked really an interest in moving in pivoting maybe in a different direction, kind of hence the birth of BAM Financial Consulting.
Well, financial psychology, therapy, broad topic, many different ways you can go with it. We as financial planners, I'd say we need all of it. There's so many areas where we need education. It's going to be a lifelong journey for us. On your end, you probably looked at it and saw so many different areas where you could start with, but you had to make a decision of, here's where I want to focus my efforts to help financial planners. How did you decide where to start, and what'd you make your focus?
You are spot on about the fact that I saw an opportunity and said, what do I want to do here? There's so many different areas. And really, I had to think about what is it that I can speak to from, I don't like to use the word expert, but from a knowledge-based standpoint, where do I have the most knowledge around? And certainly couples being one knowledge base, but within that system, what am I teaching? And it's how to do communication better. That is, really my primary role, right? Healing from a communication or utilizing communication to heal relationships. And so thinking about that, that's where I said, let me focus here from a financial psychology standpoint. Let me try to create webinars and educational content that I can put out that financial advisors can use and draw from in a practical way. I find that sometimes and maybe you've been to webinars, teachings, certainly you don't put on conferences where this happens, but you go to these trainings and you feel like I can't use any of this. This is great, but I don't know how to use this or apply it into my practice, right? And that's something that I wanted to be mindful of. I wanted to give financial planners and firms, here is information, tactical skills that they can take and use and apply. And so all of my trainings, I try to focus on, here are things that you can do, steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here are scripts that you can utilize. So very practical, again, tips, strategies that advisors can take and use from, theories and concepts within the fields of financial psychology and counseling.
And that's awesome to hear. I know one of the main feedbacks that we consistently got from Shift was, we'd love a little more application from it. And, year one, of course, I kind of say it's proof of concept. We wanted to put it out there and see what people thought. And of course, we had great attendance. People loved it. I think year two, the theme's going to be probably like human first in action or human first in practice, right? So
Sure.
we have to get our hands dirty, figure out here's how we do this. So less lecture, more workshop, try to find ways to get people more involved with it. And fortunately in our industry, there seems to be more knowledge coming this way. I know you just completed the financial behavioral specialist certification. I think I saw that post on that. So yeah. So that's obviously you're a professional and you have deep knowledge on this. So your perspective may be a little different from mine as an advisor. What did you think about it? What'd you get from it?
I loved it. It is exactly what I was looking for. And I think from a business standpoint, exactly what I needed. So I appreciated the work. I appreciated the content and the education. Some of it, I'll be honest, wasn't too much of a stretch coming from, the field of marriage and family therapy. My bachelor's degree is in psychology. So it almost kind of felt like, in a weird way, like coming home. Is how I've talked about it with Clayton, finding and merging my clinical practice now within the financial space. It kind of feels like coming home for me. Like maybe this is where I'm supposed to be. So it wasn't too big of a stretch for me. Certainly some of the financial components, a little bit of a learning curve, some jargon there for me that I'm still trying to like catch on to. But I think it was created really in a masterful way. And I think it's incredibly exciting to watch and be looking at financial advisors trying to take this, become certified in this, or take these kind of courses. I think it's incredibly exciting. I'm looking forward to being able to apply much of the knowledge that I gained from it with firms and with advisors, and even incorporating it into my trainings and courses.
That's awesome. I noticed that you have your coffee cup behind you, and of course, I've got mine. So, right,
Yeah.
don't leave don't leave home without them. So it's
Don't
great.
leave home without it. Yeah,
And
yeah,
actually, today I'm doing a lot of recording, so I'm double fisting.
yeah.
I have the water and the tea, so I have two of them. So got to go
I love
hardcore
it.
power through Monday. So I also noticed those pictures behind you. So those drawings, those are pretty cool. Is there a story behind those?
Yeah, well, look, I'm a relational professional, right? Therapist and consultant. And so the not are not mine, I wish. They are from Target. So no
Nice.
big story around who drew them. They're Target. But have actually them smaller versions of these in my clinical office. And you can see their two hands. I'll kind of duck.
Hmm.
One, they're clasped, and the other one, their pinkies are holding. And really, I just love it because it's just a symbol of connection for me, and connection and healing. So I like them. I enjoy them. They're great reminders for me to focus on really what matters most, which is creating and cultivating connection.
Love it. So now you're offering some training. I know you've got some courses that are coming up. What are you doing?
Yeah. So in May, I've got a 3.5 hour one on cultivating change and communication strategies for advisors. And so that's a great one if you're wanting to get your feet wet with just how do I help my clients make some of these behavioral changes utilizing communication strategies. So we'll go over kind of in fine detail some, tips and tricks and all of these things, learning about how communication works that really can foster change. So that's coming up in May, June, and August. So it kind of broken up into 4 Tuesdays in June, 4 Tuesdays in August. I'm doing my financial therapy skills 101. And so this is a 9.5 hour really deep dive into incorporating financial therapy, financial psychology in practice. So looking at communication, looking at self of the planner. So meaning looking at all of the beliefs, attitudes, behaviors that the financial advisor or planner does that, makes, breaks, impacts the client relationship, if you will. And then looking at other aspects of mental health and working with couples. So those are coming up throughout the summer. People are welcome to get scheduled. And then I'm hopefully going to be starting a consultation group starting maybe in the fall where folks can just come on and pay for some hours, if you will, office consultation hours. So that may kick up later this fall. I get a lot of questions around, hey, can you just meet for like 30 minutes and like talk me through this? And happy to do that. But from a utilizing time standpoint, thought it might be more effective to get a lot more folks who are like and can hear and kind of process cases together. So that'll be launching hopefully sometime this fall.
Looking forward to that. Now, I also know you love gardening, so it is springtime as we're recording this. How's that garden going?
Yeah, it's not going so well. My stress, as we were talking about, 80% is currently derived from the fact that I have not put anything in the ground. So usually I plant seeds come February. I have not done that. So I will be making a trip to my local home and garden center and buying seedlings and hopefully getting things put in the ground maybe this weekend. But that is my current stress, which I feel pretty fortunate for. But yeah, I would say so far I'm failing in the gardening department. So
What are you looking forward to growing this year?
oh man, my favorite is okra, true Southern delicacy, right? Yeah. So love growing okra, mostly because that's the easiest thing for me to grow. It doesn't require a whole lot of care, at least for me, but we've got that. I've got a blueberry bush. Blueberries are my favorite. My dream, one day, would be to have a blueberry farm, like a U-pick blueberry farm. So that's a dream. We'll see how that pans out. But yeah, so okra, I do tomatoes, squashes, peppers, herbs, all the basics. So my kids love it. They enjoy it. Getting to go out there and pick things for dinner. So most of them, at least, they don't enjoy it come August, but the first couple of times they do.
Well, that sounds like fun. Ashley Quamme, thanks for being on the show today, and we look forward to you speaking at Shift next year.
Yeah, thanks, Ross. I enjoyed it.
Thank you for listening to Shift with Ross Marino. Please visit humanfirst.live to learn more. This show is for general information purposes only and is not intended to provide recommendations or advice. Speak with a legal, tax, or financial advisor before making any decisions. Past performance references are historical and do not guarantee future results.